The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the community show about comic books and your lives and weekly conversations about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey.
Next, he's our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
I lost the cap for this wine. I'm just going to have to drink it all.
Indeed, you will. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Hey.
There it is. Make some noise for our podcasting audience members, Mo. Exactly. As for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today because we are going to be talking to you about the premiere of season 2 of Loki. And we're going to be talking to you about the horror comic Dark Ride. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. But before we do all that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, the show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. And with that said, we should go ahead and tell you how it is you can get down with Fantastic Forum. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, a little ado.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
It's true. I do want to. So yeah, please don't hesitate. Go to fantasticforum.live. You can hit the call-in button and become the 5th member of Fantastic Forum there if you have something to say. Or you can just jump into the chat, whether that be on YouTube or on Twitch, and we'll take your comments directly out of the chat and bring them into the show. Dude, we don't have any chat comments yet, huh?
They're like, it's going to get you if you're not careful.
Hey.
Whatever's in here.
Oh, dude. Listen, wait. Why? Wait, why did I get scared though? I was like, oh no. It was like, oh no. I was like, I got on edge. I was just like.
Now it has a place to sit because it already came out.
Yeah, like I just don't do this during Halloween, fellas. Like, come on.
I look. It just started. Like, I noticed it. It just started bugging me. But I really should have waited until we started talking about the comic. I really thought it would close. Like, I was just pushed it.
It's gonna throw my whole show off. Like, you know how sensitive I am to this stuff.
But like, I mean, just
it's
like
closed now.
Yeah, but Larry, you're a man of faith. Like, technically, who you have faith in is stronger than whatever's in that closet.
Oh, I don't doubt it for a second.
So then what are you worried about? Just pray.
He's doubting my faith because he's not here to protect me.
Yeah.
Listen. This isn't about who's stronger than who. It's about if the test might come. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what I'm more about. Where I'm like, oh, jeez, man. Like,
I feel I'm prepared to test my might.
Okay. I feel like those
I
always
mean,
the ones that get their ass whooped.
Hotel room, you got to put in on this Airbnb for free or whatever. Like, you can't just be in here squatting. It's like this shit costing me money by the day. Like, you better put in on this.
Jeez, man. Okay. All right. I guess we do a regular show now. Say what?
Now the other door is gonna open because he put a.
Oh. The other door opens. I think I'm done. Y'all can finish today's show without me. I'll be back next week.
Thousands of miles away. Like, what are you afraid of?
Everything. Like, listen, you think that ghost can't reach through the screen and grab me? It can't. No, it can't.
It can. It can only travel through analog instruments. Everybody knows that.
That's not true.
Anyway, let me talk about something comforting.
The Exorcist.
No. I got it. He's gone. Should have friggin' bobbed when instead of weaving. Like, R.I.P. Oz. Like, yeah, we'll miss him. He was a decent co-host, you know what I'm saying? Like, he hung in there for a while. It's like he knew his comics decent, not great, but you know, we let him slide. Oh,
I'm
he's
more
back.
of the hip hop expert than the comic.
No, this guy, the hip hop expert Oz, right?
What if his TV turns on behind him without?
Oh, I wish I would have grabbed the remote.
Jeez, man. I'm not gonna talk about this long because I feel like we did enough probably last week. But I did want to mention the 1 year anniversary for Marvel Snap is coming up, and so they're gonna do some Twitch drops again. So if you watch people play on Twitch, after a certain amount of time, you get rewards and stuff. But they're also gonna do daily daily login rewards as well. So if you log in between the 18th and I think like the 23rd or something like that, they're going to give you a hit of free. But what I really want to bring up is they're having one of the things, I think the last thing you get on that for that 1 year anniversary is a variant, but it's voted on by fans. And so it's one of 3 variants, and I wanted to show them to you all.
Is either all a white cover?
Yes, Mo. All the variants are white covers.
I'm in.
All the variants are white covers. So yeah, I wanted to show them to you because I was like, I wanted to find out which one of these you all would pick if you had the choice. So this is the first one, which I don't even know. Yeah, y'all can see that. Okay, good.
I don't like it.
That's the first one, right? The second one, oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But here's the second one is, let's see, this one right here. Bam. That's the second one. And so the last one is, oh, I got to go back here. Is this one. Get out my way, thing. Thank you. And look, I had a feeling Mo's probably going to pick this one, but that's the last one. So, of those 3, which one would you all vote for? That it's like literally a free variant that everybody would be getting.
Ghost Rider, FBI agent.
I don't know anything about that myself. I was a little shocked when I was like, I didn't know there was a version of Ghost Rider that was an FBI either. But
I would do the Ghost Rider.
I
But
figured you would do that.
honestly, it's the one with the better art out of all three. Like Shang-Chi, like it's good art, but it's not like a variant. Like you gotta wow me, you know. And even that Ghost Rider,
Yeah.
not as good. Like the originals of all three of those are
Mhm.
better art than the variants for me. Like I like the
Yeah,
original.
I agree with you on that.
That's why I'm like, yeah. But the best art, like so far, is that Ghost Rider out of the three
Mhm.
for me.
What
But
about you, Jay? If you had to vote,
Obviously, I'm going for the homage cover, the Shang-Chi.
oh, is that a whatchamacallit homage? A
Dragon Ball.
oh, I didn't even realize that was what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a Dragon Ball homage cover.
Yeah.
Oh, gee. Okay, okay. Oz, what about you?
I like the Ghost Rider one. The Human Torch is kind of close second, and but the Shang-Chi
Yeah,
one I just not into.
yeah, yeah. I felt the same way about the Shang-Chi, where I was like, man, I'm not a big fan of that. And now that I know it's a Dragon Ball homage, that makes a little bit more sense, but it still doesn't take it over the line for me to be like, I want that, you know?
Yeah, but
I mean,
you're not a huge Dragon Ball fan, right?
um, it's like I don't even know how to answer the question, honestly, because like I'm a fan. I know that.
I know
I
you're a
can't
fan.
yeah, yeah. I can't say that I'm a huge fan, I guess. Like cuz it's like, I kind of there's a part of me that kind of felt like I kind of like aged out of that franchise for some reason.
you should have
And it's not
aged out
like it's like
of Ghost being in the closet.
say what?
You should have aged out of Ghost being in the closet by that logic.
Listen. Okay, look. You say that like ghosts can't be in your closet. Okay.
Hey,
I'm just
first of
saying
all,
like
I
you can
don't have a closet for one.
well, oh, that's why you're so brave. Look, that's tough talk. You're like my car's not gonna ever get possessed or run me over. Is like I have no car. Yeah, I'm like okay, I see it now. I see the game you're playing. It's like, but but yeah, but I hear what you're saying there. Like but I still respect Dragon Ball. Like the fights are fun. I just don't. I'm like I want more story, and it's not usually not given that to me often enough.
And all three variants have really good art, really. Because I mean,
Yeah, none of them
it's
suck.
just they don't wow me like the original. Like when I first saw the original, I don't know. Maybe I'm jaded from
Yeah.
playing the game a lot. The
Well, there's a
variant,
lot of good variants.
the variant I really hate. I hate looking at it. Is the Shang-Chi like baby variant, like the
I hear you.
Scotty one? Because it's like when that
Yeah.
thing kills your like your null, and he's got that little look on his face doing the karate. It's fucker. Yeah. So,
It's too funny.
so it's just like that
Yeah,
variant, and it's always that variant, like that does it.
yeah, yeah. But as far as the other two go, it's like I do like both the Human Torch and the Ghost Rider. I kind of feel like maybe I might vote for the Human Torch one, and but I think only because it's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Like the Ghost Rider, I think would be a close second. I wouldn't be mad at that either one,
But once you
but
upgrade that, like Human Torch is gonna look good with animated and
yeah,
3D pop and
yeah,
all. It's gonna look really
I
good.
think so too. Yeah,
With
I
the
think so
Dragon
too.
Ball homage too, with the clouds, I'm sure that'll look pretty good on once it's upgraded.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So that's cool, and that's something that they actually a change they made recently with this last patch. When you look at variants in the shop, you can actually look at each stage. Um, so that's cool. Also, another thing I should mention, just since we're on the topic, is the next 3 days, the Midnight Suns variants are taking over the shop. So it started today at noon. Um, they like every like yeah, it's like Midnight Suns, or actually it may not be noon. I think it might be maybe it was maybe this evening or something like that. But Midnight Suns variants are like taking over the whole shop, and so there he is. That's Mo's nemesis.
Yeah. Like, when that thing pops up and it kills like 3 of your cards in that slot, it's like that just
Yeah,
that look on his face and everything. I'm like, this
yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah. He does look at he is
He's like
looking at
looking
you like
at
how
you,
he's like
like
you stupid.
he's
Stupid.
looking at you, like, and it's like
Yeah,
actual, like once I see it that he played 2 cards that turn, I'm like, okay, there we go, like, so I usually like I try to pad it so that they think that's where I'm gonna play the null, and then I don't, and oh yeah,
Look, he got that look like get that weak stuff out of here.
he's looking dead at you in the eyes too. Like he's not looking at your other cards. Like he's fighting you. Like it's
He's looking at your soul.
I don't even like the art all that much, but it's just that combination of circumstance and the design, and it creates a response,
He's looking at you like, do you even snap, bro?
Yeah,
Do you even
menace,
snap?
fucking, like, it literally makes me feel like Mr. Wilson, like ah.
That's too funny, man.
Baby Variant I love, like it's just the good art is the Shuri one.
Yeah,
I got that recently, and that's just a really good, like it's just a really good looking card. And then
yeah.
I got the Baby Variant for what's up? Fuck. Not Gamora, the other chick. Nebula. Yeah. I got hers. Hers is pretty good.
Yeah, man. But like I said, I just want to mention that for those that are listening that happen to play and cool stuff for
The
virtually free.
Rat thing sucks.
I mean, they have a few different ones, right? Oh, you're talking about the Spotlight Cash one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I spent my tokens. Man.
Yeah.
But now I got 3 cash stacked up.
There it is. There it is. Look,
combination. Cling, cling, cling.
Next season, man, you're gonna be ready. You're gonna get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or not next season, next week.
Yeah.
Like next week. So
I'm mad I gotta wait another 5 days.
So what else? Okay, say again.
It just turned over like was it a Monday or something or Tuesday?
Yeah. They changed the time too, so I think stuff happened did it happen at noon yesterday? I think. Yeah, like the turnover. It used to be like in the evening for us, but now they changed it to noon. So.
With this Midnight Suns collab, they should be doing it at midnight.
It's midnight somewhere, I'm sure. Just not here. They're like middle of the day for you all. Which hey, I'm not mad at. I'm just like, but it's like the one thing that I did notice, especially because I was like looking to see like what Man Thing was like before thinking about actually getting it, is the streamers, like they love it, because like the streamers, a lot of them especially are like East Coast dudes, and so it's like 3:00 in the afternoon. so they can mess around and be like trying the card and streaming it and that kind of stuff in like while they're actually awake, as opposed to like before that card would come out like 8:00 our time, right? So it's 8:00 our time, so it's like 11:00 there, and they want to stream for a couple hours, so they're going like into the wee hours of the night, and cats falling asleep while clicking the mouse, so. Yeah.
I like playing it with Polaris and Odin.
Man Thing?
Yeah, so basically I'll play Polaris at a spot and it pulls, and then I'll do the Man Thing, and then I'll do Odin on the 6th turn. It'll pull more lower cost cards that just gonna
Yeah. That's cool. Nah, that's interesting. That's a good play, because people might be avoiding that altogether, right? So
that's
so
cool. You just bring it to you.
Right. All right, fellas. Shall we begin? Shall we get into our topics for the day?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's play some TV themes.
Also,
no, more about gel coat.
When the fourth round would...
Don't you call it?
does it look good already? Jumbo Scampi for limited.
All right. Loki, season 2 premiere. Mo, why don't you go ahead and tell us about it, my man?
Okay. Loki season 2. It is the first episode of season 2 of Loki. And last we left it, he got kicked through a time door by himself, but the female version. And then she and the one who sticks around hang they changed the timeline somehow with all the splintering and everything. And now we see Loki as when we last saw him, he was at a variant of the TVA. So now he's just jumping back and forth within the TVA on different points of its timeline, and he doesn't like it. And then they try to figure out the issues with the loom, the temporal loom, and that has hilarious results as well.
Hilarity ensues.
Yeah, that is Loki number 1. Loki season 2 number 1 in a nutshell.
Word. Yeah, I mean that is an accurate description, and I can definitely understand some people that if you haven't seen episode 1 of Loki, there'll be some spoilers ahead, folks. But if they haven't seen it, they might be like, "What is he talking about?" Like it's not the like everything you said was true, but they might be like, "What?" So,
yeah.
The only thing you didn't mention is that he also is doing like some kind of time slippage type deal, right?
I said he's slipping, jumping in and out of different points of the TVA's timeline.
You know what? You did say that. That's fair. You didn't use the terminology, but you're right.
Hey,
what's happening.
Fuck it.
Hey, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you, bro. Please don't yell at me again. Uh-oh. So, Mo, what was your impression of episode 1?
I liked it as much as I liked this first season. Like, it's continuation, and I like that they didn't miss a beat. They just went through it. It's like, oh,
yeah.
It was the twist ending. It was a big twist ending at the end of season 1, and then you're like, man, where's it gonna go now? And then now it literally went from that moment and moved up and played what happened after. That's how you get me to like a second season episode. I don't want no time jump. I don't want no like, oh man, he's stranded in this beach. This is how he got at this beach. And and it's a whole new story because they can't use the same sets or whatever the fuck reason they choose to do these things. But yeah, this was it was literally the continuation of the final episode.
It's so funny because it made me think of you because I know how much you're not a fan of time jumps, but this literally is like it's all about time jumps, like the whole episode.
He's jumping. And here's the thing: if they actually did it was a time jump, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry, I keep jumping," and then it's like, okay, that actually would work for me in a sense. I just don't like the plot time jumps to compensate for the fact that the first 3 seasons all took place within a day, and now smartphones are different now, so we have to, for product placement, we have to make it like the last season they got put in jail for 5 years. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's literally the plot of season 4 of Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, really?
Like the
That's
first 3
wild.
seasons take place in like 4 days. Yeah. And then
Oh,
at the end of season 3, they go to jail because there's all this new crime technology that they could be using. But in that time, you know, they were still on burners, like, but they weren't
mhm,
burners. That's your cell phone. You know, like, remember Larry,
mhm.
the one with your little flashlight, and then
Oh yeah, 100%.
like that. For you, you didn't have to have a time jump to upgrade. You just said, "I got this old phone because I like it," you know. And no, they did 5 years in jail for season 4 of Sons of Anarchy.
Spoilers. No.
True Blood did the same shit too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Oz, how'd you feel? What was your initial impression of episode 1?
Same thing. I like that how it just continues from the end of the first season. I also
Mhm.
like that I don't want to say trick the audience, but they subverted expectations. Let's say that, because
Yeah,
at the end of
they
the
did.
first season, when they're looking at the timelines doing their thing, and everybody was thinking, "Well, yeah, it's what just happened. We saw,
Mhm.
it's what they were talking about." And then this first episode shows you, now this is something totally different. This is like in the past, like hundreds of years
Right,
before those events. So now I'm wondering, well, what was that event? What was going on there that the timelines went crazy?
right,
The hunger.
right. No, I agree. Like that was actually a pretty impressive feat because I think everybody was 100% on the idea. Like, okay, because of what just happened, Kang took over the TVA now, and it turned out to be the opposite, basically, where it's like, no, this fool started things. And yeah, and it was cool like going on that journey with Loki because he too was kind of like, he didn't know what was happening either, right? So as a character, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool.
I also
So,
like how quickly they explained it, like how
hmm
simple and how quickly with the cracked floor, and Loki figures
right,
it out right away, and
right,
he's able to explain it, and everybody knows what's happening, and we don't have to dwell on it. It's only
right,
6 episodes, so I guess you
right,
gotta go through it quick. But
right. Because you're right. There are some shows that would have drugged that out for like the first half of a season, right?
yeah,
And
Big
the whole
mystery.
first episode would have been in the past, and him not knowing it's in the past, and you wouldn't find out till like halfway through episode 2, like, oh, I've been in the past all along.
Yeah, that could have. Yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you there. Um, Jay, how about you, man? You have any initial impressions on
It
that first
was,
episode?
it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
Sound underwhelmed? Sound underwhelmed, Jay?
I'm not underwhelmed. I'm just,
Whelmed.
what is it called when like you want to sleep but you're still awake?
you're,
Tired?
you're zombie, Jay?
Yes,
Malicious.
zombie. Yes,
you
I'm
better
zombie right now.
Is
better
that
keep
the
up that
result?
energy for tomorrow, Jay.
Is that a result of the show, or it was just that's how you were watching the show?
That's how he's doing this show.
Yeah, that's how I'm doing this show. And yes, I am gonna try and rest up for tomorrow.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, look, I'm happy to hear that. Look, we know that on tomorrow's episode of Fantastic Forum, you'll be rejuvenated.
well, not the forum, but Metal, or what are they? Death Clock and Baby Metal
Oh,
or tomorrow.
well,
So I'm gonna
very
be
good.
rocking out with Moses.
Yeah.
Man,
He's gonna lose me in the mosh pit.
cool kids are hanging out. Like I'll be at home with Starfield. Okay.
Remember,
that's
you're not rocking out if your cock's not out.
You don't need to remind me. Larry
well,
was
just give me a call when you all need bail. No. So
I got invited to pregame with somebody with mushrooms, but I told them Jay wouldn't do it. But
why'd you tell him that lie?
Because
No.
because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm not a mushroom guy.
Yeah. I can be, but not with those guys. Those guys are crazy.
Those guys are crazy.
Yeah.
They take over the whole TVA.
Yeah.
So,
And I know they're not like easy to detect.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like,
you know, you got to be willing to do them, and you got to be in the right headspace and with the right people. So I'm not gonna put you in that, Jay. Yeah.
So, Jay, was there anything about the first episode of Loki that surprised you?
I don't know if this counts but I was surprised at how uncomfortable the slipping effect made me feel. Like, I did not like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just looks awful. Like,
And then
not in like a bad way. Like, it's supposed to, because it's like hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, that made me uncomfortable looking at it.
And Jay, did you notice that like the more they kind of referenced it and stuff, the slower, and they just slowed it like a few frames so you could actually see details. Like the more they were referencing it, the slower it happened. Like the more detail it got. Like it's crazy. So because it is an uncomfortable thing to think about for once, and then but watching him go through it, and he's like, oh, and then he's like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. He goes, no, it looks terrible.
Yeah. It's true.
I thought you said
I was lying. It was awful.
And then the lady was just watching it happen in the elevator.
Right. That was pretty funny how they just cut to her and she's just sitting there like in that corner. It's like, do not want to be a part of this. But yeah, I agree. Like that joint, it does like, and Tom Hiddleston is just good. He does a great job as usual, but he sells it. He sells it really well. It's ironic because I actually had a similar feeling, but not with Loki, but with watching the new season of Wheel of Time, and you had Egwene trying to touch the friggin' what is it, Adam? You remember how the Shan Chan have those collars, and they can't really mess with them.
I fucking hate them so much.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's like Derek brought up like whether or not I find slavery uncomfortable in fiction. It's like the Shan Chan definitely make me feel like angry.
Yeah. No, they are entire slavers, no question on that. Right. But they do a great job in this new season of like showing that. And I was just like, wow, like, and some of it is the actress, but I think they do put an effect on it too. And it just makes it look like, ooh, like when she tries to like touch that joint, it looks terrible. So yeah. But anyway, back to Loki.
Is anybody having audio issues?
Yeah. I'm hearing a robot version of. I guess is that my voice? I don't know.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that, or is it just me and Mo?
No, I hear it.
I hear it.
Where did that come from? All of a sudden,
it's the ghost that's in the machine.
Yeah, it's him. Or at least it's not me. Say something there.
Hey, I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna dip off and come back. Y'all keep talking about Loki.
All right. One of the things I did like is well, I'm not even gonna say I like it because it's just the dude they got from everyone everywhere everything whenever the movie
Short Round.
Yeah, Short Round him. Like his role was funny and they picked a good place for him. But the character is actually a character created by Dan Slott in one of the She-Hulk books. And they did take liberties with him, but they did thank him in the credits. So I guess that's kind of cool.
I like the character, but he was talking like kind of fast.
Yeah, well,
but I think it was on purpose. 'Cause I think like even Mobius and Loki are like, "What did you just say?"
Yeah, and he's like he's the only like handyman for all the IT projects or maintenance projects they have. So he has to be kind of sped up in a place where time doesn't matter. Yeah, but it's so big and it's so like massive that and it has a lot of maintenance issues, that we don't even see.
Also, I think he's the only one that has him in mind wiped.
Yeah,
like, I think that's why Mobius doesn't remember ever meeting him. I think he's like because he's in that basement by himself so often. I think even like Kang just forgot about him. Whenever he did whatever he did, I guess he reset the TVA or whatever he did.
Yeah. But again, that's another cool part too, where it's like a lot of what happens in the TVA now when they're like having these issues, they all see they're having these issues, but the little commentary on it is like it's the bureaucracy of it is really what hinders it from them fixing anything too. Like there's procedures, and you see the guy, like one of the head dudes is like asleep throughout the whole like judgment thing. Did I turn into robot voice too?
Yes.
Oh shit! All right,
it's getting all of us one by one.
I blame Oz.
I mute my mic. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't have robot. Well, at least I can't hear robot voice.
Hold on, let's see settings here.
So yeah, going back to how they do time travel again, really cool. Him remembering like as it happens. Again, that's probably a bad way to say it.
Yeah. But yeah, the effects of am I still robot voice?
No, you're good.
No.
Okay, good. But yeah, like what you mean, like the effects of him
of like Loki interacting with him in the past, and then it like suddenly
right, like the whole nickname thing. Like, like that was always kind of like it was almost like predestined in a way, the way that played out, Yeah,
I think there was a movie that did that where like it's the one with
Looper, no?
I think it's Looper.
Where it's like himself.
They're torturing somebody, and like they'll cut off a finger, and like the old version of him like loses the finger. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that kind of creepy, like what the hell's happening thing.
There's nothing you could do about especially when it's like losing a finger. But they did that in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure too, where he goes, you know what? Here's what I'll do, dude. I'll put my keys here so that when you get arrested, you can just grab the keys. And so then they just go, and they're like, so future self. Well, so then he just goes, and it's like, oh, there's the keys. Like, so they didn't even show them like jumping back and forth. It's like, in the future, I'll put the keys. I'll come back in time and put the keys, and then that way the whole movie the guy's like, I don't know where my keys are, and then he just grabs them. He didn't even have the idea, but the guy had already lost his keys, and he just goes into the pot plant and grabs the keys. So it's just like, yeah, I'll do that, and then they just look and like, ooh, here are the keys, Love that.
Do I sound like a robot too? No.
No more than usual.
Oh, jeez. Thanks.
Just
I did
kidding.
hear it though while
good.
I was off.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was. That's weird. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it might be.
But anyway,
it might be a StreamYard thing, like, well, because you know how we all three of us have control, so we're kind of on the same thing. Because it started once you left, it started up with me, and then I just reset my audio settings. I didn't,
It's whatever came out of that closet.
Yeah.
Freaking sound demon.
Oz's true sexuality. I've been waiting
so much.
I was trying to do that as soon as the closet door opened. Oh, he's coming out. He's coming out. He can't hold it back anymore. Oz is trans.
But yeah, I agree with what you all were just saying in regards to the character, the maintenance man stuff was all cool stuff, and yeah, I also agree that it was awesome how they're basically having a conversation in the past and in the present at the same time and going back and forth, which was pretty cool. So
Watchmen does that.
Yes.
And I'm saying does that because, saying did that defeats the purpose that he's in multiple timelines and timelines.
Right. Honestly, I feel like Watchmen is probably one of the best examples of it. And that was like one of the amazing things I think that the movie did get right, was just like this idea of Dr. Manhattan just existing in a lot of different places at once, and just like being able to like kind of have a representation of that. The whatchamacallit, the TV show did a pretty good job of that too. So, yeah, they had more space to do it in too, which was kind of cool. So,
yeah,
but anyway, yeah, I mean, I will say, like, I definitely want to hear what your gripes are, each of you, your gripes are with the show. I'll start in the sense that I kind of felt like, I understand the show is short, so I'm not mad at it for being, short.
Yeah.
But I do feel like either the episode should have been longer, or they maybe should have premiered 2, one or the other.
They definitely should have premiered.
Yeah, because I know that when it ended, and and this is both, I guess, a gripe, but also a testament to the show. Like, I was just like, no, you can't stop right there. Like we're supposed to keep going. It felt like I was shortchanged, and part of that is just being like basically invested. It's like they're supposed to want me leaving, huh?
It did its job to a degree,
right? Exactly. It's supposed to want me wanting more, but at the same time, there was a part of me that was kind of like, I don't know, like it didn't. What I would like to have had was what felt like a satisfying conclusion, while also wanting more. And I don't know that it necessarily felt that way for me. So I think that's probably that's probably the gripe coming away from it, where I'm just like, dude, I don't know. I think it probably should have been like 2 episodes. What's your gripe, Oz?
Probably how weak of a villain they make Kang appear to be. Like, he
wasn't even in it, right?
That doesn't matter. He Who Remains won the multiversal war, which means he defeated Kang. He's the ultimate. He's the most powerful of all the Kangs, and we saw him die. So they already killed it. Like the actual Kang the Conqueror that we've seen has just had his ass handed to him every time he shows up.
That's the issue with it too. Like, it's like that dude is not a Kang. Like, he's a Richards. you know, and he's like, that's one of the things in that last episode where he's like, yeah, I'm so and so Richards, and I went through all this. So he's not, he doesn't have the motivations of a Kang. He's not a Kang. He's just the actor that plays Kang, you know.
But
And
the Kang they
Is he a
showed in that,
he said my name is such and such Richards, you know, the original like descendant's name,
Nathaniel
Richards. Yeah.
He said that in what, the end of last season?
Yeah, the who that kicks back, and when they go through Elias and everything and hang out with the dude that kicks back.
Did you say he who kicks back?
Yeah, he's just chilling back there, man. Like, you know,
Hilarious. Take a tugboat asked real quick. If the whole season was released in the same day or one day, no, it was not. One episode at a time.
That's Larry's great. Like, it's just one episode isn't enough.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so that's not even Kang, but he obviously defeated Kang.
Right.
Ant-Man defeated Kang. Like when Thanos, whenever he lost, it wasn't him, it was people he sent to do his job for him. So when we get to Infinity War, that's like after he puts on the gauntlet and says, all right, I guess I got to do it myself. And then he does it. You know, he felt like a threat. His losses didn't feel quite like his losses, like how Kang just keeps getting, you know.
Again, we have yet to meet Kang, like the real one.
You don't think it's the guy from Quantumania?
No, that, like, if anything, this is where the timeline splinter. Like, he was the good one, and they killed the one that was gonna help them. You know, like the one that could stop the real Kang. He got lost in the time stream here, and they took him as the bad one, and then just now all hope is gone. You know, and that's fitting for Ant-Man. You know, and again, the Nathaniel Richards guy. It's like that's the dude that could essentially be a Kang, but he's also the dude that could stop a bunch of Kangs by sacrificing the timeline and making it into one. You just using his brain. You know, not being a conqueror, you know.
It does kind of feel like He Who Remains, like while we say he won the multiversal war, it's not so much like
win. Yeah.
Huh?
I don't feel like he was looking to win. Like that was a sacrifice he had to make. Yeah.
Right. And it's not like winning. He won in the sense that he was able to like create a barrier. Like, I don't know that he didn't beat the other Kangs because they're there.
Well,
right?
he was the last one left alive.
Well, he wasn't the last one left alive.
Yeah, no, he was. That was the whole point. That was the whole point of him.
Oh, because he's at the end of time. Got you. That's right. What you're saying.
Yeah, and the whole point of pruning timelines was to prevent his variants from ever coming to being.
Yeah. But that's why
the whole reason for the sacred timeline is he was preventing timelines that would create another Nathaniel Richards or Kang or any of his variants. That's why when he tells that's why when he tells Sylvie, you know, if you kill me and don't keep the sacred timeline going, that's when my variants are going to show up, because there's nothing to stop those timelines from branching and creating the other variants.
But then, and I feel that, but I thought it was more of a barrier than it is, because like when he dies, that's when the timelines start branching, right?
Well, they branch with every little weird anomaly, and then they're the system in place. But again, that's the barrier. That's not the system has to be in place to keep it from happening.
Yeah, it's not just that he dies. It's not just that he dies. Is that nobody takes responsibility for keeping everything going, because he gave Sylvie the option to Sylvie and Loki to take control of the TVA. He wanted to die either way. He was done. He's like, I've been here way too long. And they would have taken over for him, but they didn't. And the second that decision was made, that's when the branching started. He had no idea. The point where he says, I don't know what's going to happen now, was way before he even gets stabbed. That was way before Loki and Sylvie started even fighting over stabbing him.
Right. But I guess what I'm saying is this, though, is like part of why he creates the TVA is so you can prune the timelines, like you said, preventing variants, right? That variants of himself, and inadvertently other people for different reasons or whatever. But like the system was already in place once you get to the end of time. So people could have just kept doing what they're doing, and eventually they might stop once they find out where they're like, oh, okay, this whole thing was a lie. But that isn't what happened. It's not like they were like, oh, they got killed and they went back and told the rest of the TVA what had happened.
It kind of is, because they had already found out that they were variants.
No.
Renslayer had already just fucked off to do whatever she's gonna do.
Right, but Renslayer is one person, and like even when we get to the point in this first episode of season 2, the majority of the TVA is still operating business as usual.
Nope. B-15 already called off that. That's why she was in that tribunal, because they asked her, who gave you the authority to stop all pruning? She had already called it off.
Yeah, but the timeline split before that happened.
And they're still tribunal.
Or while it was happening. You're thinking in a linear time. All the TVA stuff is happening outside of time. So just because you saw it happen, just because you saw it after the branching, doesn't mean it didn't happen before or at the same time.
Well,
I'll give you that.
All that is to say that like this dude is at the end of time isn't Kang. We haven't really seen Kang yet.
He's the one that beat Kang.
Well, no, he's not. Beat is you're putting it in those terms because it's like Reed Richards can't fight somebody physically. He'll foil them, foil their plot, and this is how, at least my theory with this guy, like he didn't beat anybody, he foiled the plan, and he sacrificed whatever life he would have to just be at the end of time and hold this thing in order. He's not Kang. Like anybody that reads fucking comics will tell you that's not Kang.
But the dude,
he is a variant. But
the dude in Ant-Man and Quantumania is supposed to be Kang.
Right. But again, that's a Kang.
A lesser Kang.
Right. It's not the Kang that we're gonna have in the big big event movie is not that guy.
So you're saying we haven't actually seen the real Kang the Conqueror?
No, we've only seen variants.
We've only seen the Quantumania, all those variants.
I will say this too.
Seen the main Kang yet.
There's a solid.
We read Timeless. Like, come on.
Read Timeless.
So it's like that tells you what you need to know.
Right. There's a solid possibility that Kang might not even end up being like the big bad. Like it might just end up being like God Emperor Doom.
I mean, it's called the Kang Dynasty.
The Secret
is Kang Dynasty first or Secret Wars first?
I'd have to look it up.
I think it's Kang Dynasty. I think it's Kang Dynasty first, but then it's Secret Wars. And so it's kind of like one of those things where, like Kang is like who we get as like almost like a red herring-ish kind of big bad.
Yeah.
But not to say that we won't get a version of Kang that's more dangerous than what we've seen so far, because I guarantee you Quantumania Kang is not the pinnacle of Kang. Like which is basically what Moses is saying. It's like it's not Kang the Conqueror, even though he calls himself, or somebody alludes that he is the Conqueror, but he has so many.
When somehow Sue Richards can touch him and feel who he is, like she sees that, but she sees. I believe she's seeing what he's seen in traveling this multiverse and timelines and the variants of himself fighting them. Like I think he's like.
You mean you're talking about Wasp, right?
Yeah, but this movie is a Fantastic Four movie. Like it's not like.
By the way, Kang Dynasty first. It's Avengers Kang Dynasty, and then Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that.
Oh,
yeah, you might.
Fantastic Four before both of those.
Right.
According to the timeline now.
Right. But that's the thing where so you get Doom before you get to those two movies, then Doom can be in like Doom and Kang fighting against each other is classic, right? Like
I
all
think
the
you're
time.
giving Feige too much credit.
Come on, man. Really?
Yes.
I'm giving Kevin Feige too much credit at this point. After we've already successfully did all these phases that ultimately it led to the Infinity Gauntlet. You
What
don't
has he
believe
done
that
since
this one
then?
could pull? What? Wait, so you're saying that these initial phases? What you're saying is like you're taking this phase of Marvel, which is comparable to Phase 1 of Marvel. Like you're saying, like okay, the movies that we've seen in this era.
Now you're saying two different things. You're giving him credit for what he did before, but you're also saying you're also saying he's going to do. You're also saying he's going to do Doom versus Kang, where Doom wins.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to do Doom thing. Like he might orchestrate Kang Dynasty. Like he might end up being amazing, and I'm blown away. I still don't see him doing a Doom Kang standoff or whatever.
Okay, I mean, I'm just saying, like that's very much like, especially considering like like just based on the timeline we were just talking about. If you have a Fantastic Four movie, it's like it's a great place to introduce Doom and of course the rest of the Fantastic Four.
Doom's gonna be lucky to survive the Fantastic Four movie.
You think? Why do you feel like they would kill Dr. Doom?
Because they have before.
Yeah, but not on the MCU.
Not Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Fox movies, yeah.
Well, look, we'll see.
Again, like they literally bought a whole studio to fix what they already did, like to not do the same things. And we saw it with Multiverse of Madness. It's like, okay, yeah, we bought all these people so we could just show them to you here for fun. Yeah, imagine what we do when we actually have to work for it. Yeah.
Jay, you've been quiet, man. Why don't you tell us what your problem, what your gripe with Loki might have been?
Honestly, I didn't have any problems with it.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was very, what's the word? Greasy. Like it was just like smooth.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like greasy and smooth. Like it just had a flow to it that I really vibed with.
It was nice and lubed up.
I don't think greasy is like that sounded like bad. Like you're gonna talk crap about it.
No, it's good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Joe liked the lube.
Very whelming, happily whelmed.
That's fair.
Like, Mobius was great.
I agree. I do like Mobius. That's fair. What about you, Mo? What was your gripe, if any?
My gripe was like they should had 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I didn't feel like you where it's like, oh, it was too short. Like I enjoyed what I saw and I took it. Mm-hmm. I know they're not gonna do the whole thing at once, so that expectation wasn't there. But I guess they finally got to you because the gripe that you had, I have had for everything. And now you're coming around and seeing like you just show the whole fucking thing already. Like what the fuck? Like you put out something.
I don't want all of it.
No, but here's the thing: like they put out cool things every month. Like, I don't need appointment television anymore. I live in the future. Like on demand is how I like my things.
Right.
You know, like I literally, I what is it? Like last week I watched Dark Wind season 2 one sitting. Mm-hmm. The last season of What We Do in the Shadows one sitting. Mm-hmm. Reservation Dogs season 3 one sitting. Like
Mm-hmm.
Even stuff I don't like, today I did like 4 episodes of the Mayfair Witches. Like, and that's it. It's when I have the time to do it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it. Like, you're not fighting for ratings, you're fighting for my subscription money. So getting you to if you do it all at once, it's likelier you're gonna get my subscription money.
But you don't feel like there are people out there and a decent
fuck them
people.
You have to educate your base to what you want them to do. Like, that's what it is. So if you want your customers to do business with you a certain way, you have to educate your customers to do business the way you want to do business.
But my question was going to be, you don't feel like there's a significant percentage of the population that would be like, okay, if you're going to give me all the Loki episodes, you're going to give me 6. That you don't think that there's a significant amount of the population that will watch all 6 of those episodes, like, in a night, and then be like, I don't even know if I need that Disney Plus subscription until the next show comes around. Like, because like I don't know what the Disney Plus show is. Like, for instance, in November, I don't know that there's a Disney Plus show that's happening in November.
There could be a good amount of people that'll do that, but again, fuck them. Like, you got their money this month, you'll get their money if all they give a fuck about is Loki, you'll get their money back when Loki season 3 comes out.
But that might not be for like a year.
That ain't my fault. That's the studio's fault. You should be making new seasons every month. If that just show it all to me.
or you make it stretch out over 2 months.
No.
Again, in December, you got another show that's gonna.
Here's the thing.
Hook you.
I didn't get the fucking cord to do appointment television, to do must see TV Thursdays with these fucking apps. All right, and I cut the cord long before the apps were available.
Yeah,
I had a computer as my media center, and what I couldn't get on, like, I just watched TV on the internet, and what I couldn't get legally, I would bootleg. But either way, I watched it on my big screen TV with a good video output cable. All right? I'm still doing the same thing, and now I'm paying for it. All right. There's very little I do on bootleg.
Right.
At this point, I'm almost paying. Like Emily the other day was like, "Well, the amount we're paying, like, we could actually be paying for cable." I'm like, yeah, but at that price, cable right now don't get you AMC, don't get you IFC, don't get you HBO. So it's like, we're still winning because all we really have is all the premium channels.
Right.
So, and it's like, our local over the air shit has an app, so I don't even need the over the air antenna now. I just watch my Fox local app.
True.
So I don't. Again, like, that's
so. With that
said, Larry, if that is your real name, it is one of those things. Like, I'm happy to get it all. Like, if they do a tier in like Hulu or Disney Plus, because either way they put the Disney Plus shit on Hulu eventually anyway, at least to entice you. If there's a tier where it's like, okay, if you pay this, you get it all at once, and then if you want to pay, if you don't want to pay that much, you get week by week. Like, I'd opt for the tier. Like, I think that would be that would fix those idiots that Larry thinks are worth doing business with, and then it'll placate me, and then the market is for everybody. Yeah.
With that said,
that won't work.
Yeah, it'll work for me. That's all I care about.
Are you gonna make sure that, like, I know that you and your fam like to watch those kind of shows together. So when will you be watching episode 2? You think?
What, of Loki?
Yeah.
Probably when it comes out. Like, when it comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
It came out already or no?
No, tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
I'll probably end up watching it like Friday or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, right. Yeah. But like, here's the thing. Like, I kind of feel like what you're saying, I get, and I'm not knocking it.
Look, here's the thing. If I choose to lazy about, I could watch 2 whole series or 2 whole seasons of something on my one day off, And for me, like the service that lets me do that is the service I feel like I gets my money worth. When it comes time to like, you know what, we're paying for a lot of services, we should cut back. The one that gives me everything more often is the one I'm not cutting out, because I know on my day off I'm gonna get my money's worth, even if it's one day a month.
Right. But okay, so here I guess the question would be then, Loki's gonna string you along for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
How likely are you to how likely would you be to be like, I'm getting rid of Disney Plus until that's over?
I mean, look, in all honesty, I like to be honest on the show. I'm using your password. So so I'm not like, that question is a moot point for me because
right. But
I have thought about just buying my own because I do use Hulu. And so it's like I could get that bundle even for ESPN, but I don't use ESPN.
Right.
Other than to watch Stephen A. Smith yell, but I can do that at the gym. But so that's a good so I'm like, that's a bundle and I can use it myself. I can I can handle the password. I can watch it on my own devices.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to wreck your algorithm by for mischief. Because I click on yours and start watching stupid shit like Johnny Baloney or whatever.
Listen, you got your own profile. Just use your profile. You're good.
No, but I use yours so you can watch these stupid Haunted Mansion Disney XD.
Use your profile, goddamn.
The surfer guy that moved to Nebraska and became a skater, that movie. I put that shit on your profile.
I don't know if it's considered a Mo deal, but I get the Disney bundle for free, like the Disney Plus, the Hulu, the ESPN.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you get that?
I have.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
More money, more money, more money, more money.
Listen, freaked me out. I was like, what is happening to ghost? I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Freaked me out. I was like, the
love how fast James got eyes.
Yeah, the screen goes black. I'm like, oh.
I freaked the hell out. I was like, damn it. Don't do it. Okay, I'm sorry. Both deal. Well,
I don't know.
But it was well timed though, because
it was
I was
perfect.
sitting here like, I was like, what? How do you do that, Oz? And then I was like, oh, Jesus, who is this? Like, okay, continue.
Just because I have Verizon. I've had Verizon for years now, and
Verizon.
Yeah.
Do you use their unlimited plan?
Yeah. What the hell?
Oh, look. I don't know. I got it. They gave me the Disney Plus bundle for free.
Yeah, when you get a new phone, they'll give it to you. That's part of the thing.
I just got a new phone.
Yeah.
It's not just even the new phone. It's just I switched. I had where they
every time you renew your plan or whatever, or you upgrade,
and they give it to you for how long?
For a year, 15 months or some shit. At first, now it's 4 or 5.
Honestly, it's forever. I don't have an end date on it. There's promotions that they gave me Max for 3 months.
Yeah.
For free, but that has a expiration date. The Disney bundle doesn't have an expiration date, and I've actually looked for one because they raised the price recently. Disney raised their price recently for that bundle, so I thought, I guess
that's how Larry had it.
No, man, I messed around. I'm paying. What the hell? It's like, listen, my thing is this: I don't need Hulu.
Well, if you had an iPhone, you can actually go in your settings section and be
I don't need an iPhone.
Well, look, you do.
That might be it. I have an iPhone.
Because that's part of it. If his settings, it was probably gonna be oh, your carrier has this offer for you. There's a section in the settings that tells you what the perks you get from your carrier built into the iPhone. I don't know if the Samsung does it or Android does it, but
Verizon definitely.
Go to your Verizon
app that will do that.
Yeah, go into your Verizon account and kind of look around. Maybe you didn't check off
do that.
Yeah.
Because my thing is this is, I don't really care much about Hulu or ESPN in general.
Hulu's tight.
Okay.
I use Hulu a lot too.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it, and I've used it myself. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that my whole thing is, I like to watch MMA and all of like the UFC stuff.
And you have all sorts of gay porn sites for that on the internet. You don't need to be paying for that.
All the UFC stuff goes through ESPN, and so it's like what you're talking about. Like your bundle includes ESPN Plus, right, Oz?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just for that alone.
You know what UFC stands for?
What?
You're fucking queer.
That's not how you spell queer.
It is when you're a UFC guy that's got his head beaten for money.
Yeah, there. I don't know if we can.
Yeah,
see that. There's no end date. No, it's not showing up right.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's no end date on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
nice.
And that's built into your app, right? To your settings app.
I'm just looking at my perks through the app. So
okay.
it's just zero a month. Wait,
I'm gonna go check it out. I will do it.
And normally $14.99 included in my plan.
There it is. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna go check that out right now.
Well,
not right now, but after the show. After the show. All right.
Taking Tugboat got scared too with the the music. That's a weird commercial. He had so much faith in us. He thought we were monetized.
Shout out to Taking Tugboat. There it is. So yeah, man. So anything else they want to say about Loki before we rate it?
Again, it does bring up the conversation of like binge watching over, and that's part of my problem. Even with Ahsoka, like I didn't continue watching because I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait till it's over, and then then I start watching something else. So on their end, it'll from me, they're gonna get hurt by doing that, And realistically, they're like, well, you be hurt because you're not enjoying our quality entertainment. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to take. Yeah. But yeah, so that's my biggest gripe with it. The other one is it is like they are short episodes. You're only doing 6. I felt like Ahsoka did 8, and they still pretty long.
Yeah, they were decent length. I agree.
So,
but Loki wasn't the first episode like 45 minutes long?
Well, 45 minutes, but it was like 17 minutes of credits.
Yeah, like it ends at like 40.
Like 38. Yeah. Well, 40, and then it has the mid-credits scene. It does.
And a recap.
Yeah, and a recap. It does have a recap that's like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Burr says, I really liked Ahsoka, but sure seemed like there was less talk about it compared to other Star Wars shows. Yeah, but that's different. That's because it is a woman of color leading it. And, Larry, like, he didn't even ask me about what I thought about it last time we were. He was just trying to breeze through the segment.
But it did prove that if the character needs to be orange, they could do a little makeup and make him a little orangey. Not like Titans.
Yeah, but nobody's watching Titans anyway.
I haven't even watched the last season.
Yeah. The only person watching Titans is my brother, and I only know because he sent me a text saying Titans N-word. Like I think he likes.
Brother's always using the N-word.
Like, it's sad because Titans should have been my show.
Yeah,
it's the first live action Nightwing, and I still haven't even seen the last season.
Burr says I do think they linked a little too much on people knowing Rebels, and honestly, like if you watch our review from last week, like Oz had to watch all these YouTubers talk about it, go on the wiki. I didn't, and I was talking to Larry about it this morning, where it's like technically, like I enjoyed it on its own, even though I hadn't watched Rebels. And I think whatever detriments, whatever people didn't like about it was because they probably have seen Rebels or had expectations from what they heard YouTubers or wikis say about Rebels. And then, so for me, I enjoyed it on its own merit. And I think it's it's the original trilogy for me, then Rogue One, and then Ahsoka. Yeah.
It's interesting just because you definitely get more out of the show.
Burr says, I missed last week. I'll go watch later. And that's what I've been trying to do.
Burr, if you...
More views, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, share, embed.
Not just that, but if you're gonna... If you actually do watch it, just leave a comment. If not a comment, just leave an emoji. Everything helps.
Right. But I think you get more out of it if you've seen Rebels, no question. But I do think it could probably stand on its own, but it's hard for me to say just because
it did for me.
I watched Rebels.
I never watched Rebels. Right. I was like, man, that little kid with the lightsaber slingshot, like he grew. Like, and that's as much as I knew about Rebels.
Now he's a Force monk.
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Sort of. Like,
Force monk.
Look, he starts off saying, "Oh, I don't need the weapon. I got the Force." And like 5 minutes later, he's shooting dudes with a rifle.
Hey,
I mean, look, what's wrong with using tools?
Yeah, like never heard of a marital aid?
Homeboy in Road One didn't need a weapon. He literally said the Force is with me and just fucking walked into the fire.
And where is he now? Dead.
Died like a man.
Burr says, I hadn't seen Rebels and still enjoyed it, but I feel like it was hard to get invested into why they wanted Ezra back so bad and stuff. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I can see that, but it's also fantasy. So it's like, if I'm watching something that is sci-fi fantasy, that's the world they set up for me. I'm in for the ride. I'd strap myself in and feel the chi.
I still think Thrawn is a moron.
You didn't watch
Rebels. I think Thrawn could beat you in a fight.
I doubt it. Like, I'll kick his ass and he'll be like, I plan.
Actually, Oz is mad because he looks like if you paint Oz blue, like that's the Thrawn. That's why he's mad.
Look, Jay, where you gonna put your money, Jay?
Like, he has the Star Destroyer. Why does the eye have to come down when he has the Star? Never mind. We did that last
week. The Star Destroyer's all jacked up. Like, he literally can't travel from one galaxy to another on it.
It couldn't do that normally.
It could.
It took space whales.
They had warp drive before,
but not to another galaxy. That's why the whales had to do it.
Yeah.
That again, Burr, watch last week's episode. Now, granted, like if you're looking for my take on it, don't watch last week's episode.
Burr said the exact same thing though. Like, right? It's like Burr came to the same conclusion that we did, where he's like, but didn't the dude just whip?
No, he got his ass kicked and said, that's part of my plan.
Because otherwise he's not gonna watch that episode and give us the like and
man. That's a very poignant point, Burr. Maybe one of us might bring that up next on last week's show, potentially, possibly, but you have to.
I doubt that. We're not that smart.
If you're like Loki, time jump to
last episode.
If you're like Loki and time jump to last week, you might.
No, I doubt that.
We're not call in last week, Burr, and we'll be like, "Who are you?" But anyway, okay. Let's rate Loki.
Let's rate the shit. Yeah.
Okay, Jay, what would you rate Loki, season 2, episode 1?
I would give it a 5.
There it is. Oz.
If it's just episode 1, then I'll go with 5. But I do want to revisit this when it's done.
We will do it. Just only because you asked us to, Oz. Mose Magnum, what would you rate Loki season 2 episode 1?
I would give it a 4, and I was gonna do a 5 until you opened your mouth, Larry, and says like, if you're complaining about them not having like the episode being short and them not having more episodes up, then I know I'm right, and I'm like, this is something I should be pissed about still. I had stopped, but once it affects you, I know they're fucking up because you're the old boy dude. You know what I mean? Like you're.
Am I the old boy dude?
Yeah, man.
No, I don't have my board.
Oh boy. You know, like
okay.
that's. But yeah, it's like if you're mad at Disney for that, then I know they're fucking up. And I didn't trust my instincts. I didn't take that into account till you brought it up. So that knocks it down to the point. That's not the show's fault. The quality of the show isn't reflective of that, but it's again,
right.
The medium is the message too. So how do you choose to distribute the show is part of how the experience is going to go. So.
Right. Yeah. I'm giving it a 4.5 myself, and that's the reason why I have to take away the half a point, because I was just like, dude, I don't know, like normally I don't feel that way, but for some reason at the end of this episode I was kind of like, and like I said, it could just be it's really compelling and I just really wanted to see what happens next. That could be it, but I don't normally have any issue with waiting to see the next installment of something. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like something about the way that it resolved didn't quite do it for me. Like, because I definitely have watched shows and be like, oh no, they like, please don't end on me right here. But I don't feel that way because it wasn't a complete show. I feel that way because it's like I really want to know what happens next, and I'm just like, oh, this feels like where they're gonna end. And then a lot of time it does, and I'm like, ah. Oh.
Episode 1 felt like a full arc though. Like they solved the main issue of the time slipping.
Yeah, and opened it for
right. They set the little threads for the future episodes, but the main crux of the episode was the time slipping. That was the big, huge problem, and they solved it at the end.
And honestly,
it's very satisfying.
Yeah, and that's one of the things how I graded it, because it is like it feels like reading a comic book. Like it's like, okay, like when you read Saga, you read 6 issues, and then it's like they take a break, you come back, and it just like picks up where it is. Like even though you waited, they didn't.
Is the last scene is when they have the people, the TVA agents going through that door or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Is that the last scene?
Do you count the mid-credit scene?
The mid-credit scene. There's a mid-credit scene after that.
Sylvie walks into a McDonald's.
Yeah,
I did see that.
And that sets up the next episode.
Which wasn't
right.
Because McDonald's used to have a smoking section.
Wait, so what?
I needed to see cigarette smoke in that.
Oh.
scene.
No, I did see that. And I don't know, maybe that didn't I do remember seeing that and thinking to myself, like, is this doing it for me? But it didn't.
Yeah, no,
she's set up to why she's working at a McDonald's when Loki meets her.
Yeah, or she becomes Ronald McDonald.
I mean, the previews show her working at a McDonald's. So.
Oh, did I didn't see the previews.
Oh, well, yeah, she's gonna be working there.
I don't do none of that shit.
With a horrible haircut. I hate that haircut that they give her what is it, the 70s?
The 80s. What I did like is that she goes, I want to try everything. Because that's kind of how I feel when I'm at the drive-thru or at a McDonald's or a fast food place.
Yeah. So, okay. But yeah, high marks for Loki, which is probably not surprising to anybody. But,
especially with
I mean, I rated it the second lowest out of 4.
Yeah, I don't disingenuous ass review.
I don't look. I didn't mean to ruin your parade with facts. I apologize. No,
alternative facts.
Alternative facts. Well, I apologize, man. I don't know what to tell you. I did what I did. No, but I still rated high though. So. But anyway,
it's a half a point loss, not even a full point, like a real man.
Look, you lucky I said something, or else you would have given it a 5.2.
Scary comic book review. Scary comic book
like
review.
Well, not like that, but like.
Let's go. Jay's in a hurry.
Blood curdling scream, indeed. I agree.
I forgot
Dark
we had
Ride.
a comic review intro.
Yeah, absolutely. There it is. Scurry.
And see, that's what I want to do. I wanted Halloween to be all horror, but no, you want to do other shit that ain't horror.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's like you wanted to not talk about Loki.
I'll let that one slide.
He said,
Aren't we doing Gotham War next week?
No.
Listen.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure we just had. Oh, okay.
No, Mo wasn't even here for that meeting. Like Mo was all, But I'm saying, Bird said Loki was scary bad. But no, man, I'm like, like Gotham War might be scary bad too. Never know. Anyway, yeah, Jay, we got Dark Ride on the agenda, my friend. Tell the people what Dark Ride is and what it's all about.
It's an Image comic by Joshua Williamson and Andre Brezen. It's about a guy who kills his wife in a fit of anger because she won't support him, wanting to scare people. And when he goes to bury the body, a voice calls out to him and gives him the means to build a horror theme park, which his children are ruining by being losers.
Yeah.
And it cuts to a guy, he's on his first day there, and he gets murked by the demons running around. And so his sister comes to investigate and figure out what really happened to him, because she suspects it wasn't a simple hanging that killed him.
As is the case.
I would have just said it's Walt Disney made a deal with the devil.
I considered that, but I used that before.
And it's like,
have you? With what comic?
No, with this we didn't review it
in pre-production.
No, I thought I did it on the show.
It was the
preview.
Yeah, because this book was a preview on a book we reviewed.
Right.
Part of the reason we liked that book was because it teased Dark Ride and it looked really good too. And I think
I said it then. It's like, what if Disney killed his wife and then made a deal with the devil for a theme park?
Makes sense. Okay, cool. So, Jay, what was it about this book that made you kind of feel like the forum should be talking about?
Oh, it's a horror book, and it's October.
There it is. That's all.
I've been reading it since it came out, and I'm enjoying it. Like, even with its pacing, it still manages to get in some really good kills. Has a lot of tension. Dude, when the daughter cut herself, I was like, man, I hope she cuts deeper. But that was like awesome to watch.
What? Oh my god!
Lawrence, how many issues did you read? Because you're a well-known scaredy cat.
I've read all of them. I'm current. Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I did. I mean, and don't get me wrong. Like, understand this.
I need to see a reaction video of somebody reading it to you.
Listen, here's the thing. Horror, or I should say, comics are one of the few places that I can find horror somewhat palatable, and that's mainly because it's the most controlled way I can.
Wait, now, okay. Is one of the reasons you were able to get through this book because there's no black folk in it, like The Exorcist, to keep you out?
Wait a minute. Listen, I have no problems with black people being in horror.
My reaction to the Exorcist trailer. Watch that somewhere up there.
My qualms about The Exorcist trailer was I'm not understanding how it is that this black person ended up getting possessed by a demon.
You literally say, "Uh-oh, there's black folk."
Right.
Link is up here.
Right.
The link is probably not up there, but just look up the channel. It's there.
Yeah, it's on the channel, no question. But yeah, man. So
honestly,
but yeah, like
the trailer you watched, I think you watched the last trailer, and it's not a good trailer. The first or second trailer are much better at showing you what's going to happen, and it shows the two girls going out into the woods, which is where they get possessed.
Yeah. But see, again, random black child just out in the woods. I don't know.
She's not random.
I mean, she's with a white child. So,
well, they have an affirmative action church.
I get. Look, Lawrence doesn't like fraternization. Okay.
Well, he doesn't like integration. Like he wants segregation.
Is that what I want? Segregation.
Yeah.
Okay. Dark Ride.
Dark Ride. There it is.
Like, he might not like that because it says dark on it.
Why's it got to be dark? Right. There it is. So, yeah, like, Mo.
Yes.
I was gonna make it. I was not gonna make it.
I might not make it just based on his reaction.
I'm good.
So, Mo, you're a horror aficionado.
Yes.
What was your take on Dark Ride? Like, your initial thoughts.
The first issue is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like, just that little boy, like he's our guy. Like, okay, we're gonna see it through him, and then he's like fucking dead. Spoiler.
Right.
But it's like, all right, what the fuck? And then now I'm seeing the kids, and then I'm seeing the backstory. And then I'm like, oh shit! Like every issue has some backstory, and it makes you care about every character involved except the demons, essentially. So it's like everybody involved is kind of fucked here, but they're doing what they can with it, and it's, I enjoy this on several different levels. Like two siblings trying to run a business together, been there, again, having somebody from a past generation do some shady deal that affects you, even though you've never met them. Now, like that's up my alley. Like, still trying to contact my grandpa through the Ouija board to see what's the actual what's the contract? Like, yeah, but yeah, so. So this really, I just enjoy how it all goes, and then just the idea that it's like they made a devil Mickey Mouse that's just as marketable and everybody loves it and shit. I love that. And the ability, the way that it's written, like they're fast. Like, I'm telling you, they're fast reads because I read 8 of them in like an hour.
Right.
So they're easy to read, but there's a lot of story there. Like, and they, again, when you talk about how Loki season 1 ended, I'm sure there's a trade paperback where you had like 6 issues. I didn't feel where the break was. I read single issues from 1 through 8. I didn't feel where the break was for the trade paperback. Like it's all flowing well. Like, if anything, I'm pissed that it's like by now we should have like 12, but but yeah, so
I mean, it's props to Joshua Williamson because this fool is busy. He's writing a lot of books.
I read a whole. He spearheaded a whole event for DC that I read, and again, what I liked about that, like the way that was written, the way that was handled, even though it had its ups and downs with it, and but the sensibilities of it are here too. Like when I always talk about like the creator doing a good load, it's like he has his creator own thing here that he's putting in work, and then he has his, and then there's some like, I don't even want to say thematically, but even like character, like crossovery, like familiarity from reading his work here, or what's the one,
you can see the DNA,
like Agents of Cowl, like
Yeah.
like I can, and I'm seeing all that, like seeing him do like the Agents of Cowl, and then seeing like Insomnia shit, like the dark, was it Night Terrors, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I can feel that. Like, it's what I like about John. He puts his signature on what he writes, and it's part of it is quality, and part of it is executions and just the dialogue. Like the dialogue is just natural for everybody here, and I think that moves it along. That makes you, when you talk about horror, like immersing you in it is through the characters. That's why every fucking horror movie takes 40 minutes for something to fucking happen, because they spend 40 minutes wanting you to care about these characters, you know? But and in this comic, it's like that. Like you're literally like, this kid is enthusiastic about being here, and then they fucking kill him in front of you. Horror movies ain't doing that in the fucking theater when they're back in the, you know, that might be something that Blumhouse like, I don't know if we could do that. It's like, Blumhouse, you're not a big studio, but I want to be, you know? So it's like, I know Blumhouse and A24, they take their chances and shit, but this is something that feels along the lines of what I would see there from those studios in comics. And I still haven't seen any of those studios. The closest thing I come to that was the head getting bashed in Hereditary. And that's where you feel something for a character, and then boom, her head hits a fucking freeway sign. And then Jay laughs really, really hard.
I don't think I laughed at that part, but I did laugh at the mom. Her delivery of her lines when she was talking about how tired she was hilarious.
So, Burr says, "Do you think they can make a movie of this?" Then, I mean, yeah.
I don't think a movie would be enough.
As of right now, sure.
I think they no. That's what Oz said is part of my answer here, where it's like it could be a movie. It would be distilled down, and I think with the way he wrote it, you can distill it and still have something good. But then you can have, if you have a 12-part or a 10-episode like Netflix series, you could still do a lot. I mean, they're in 8 issues, and it's only been like, you know, they do a little bit of time jump stuff, but it is definitely like there's a story there. Like that first issue could be they could omit that and then just start with the main plot in a movie. And I'm not gonna say that's gonna be good, but it can be done. Like you still get what you got in the comic and there. It's just it might change the feeling of your experience in reading the comic. Movie's a different experience. I understand that, so I'll let it. That's how I would allow it, I guess. But it's not. You know, it can be. I can see this being a decent, like a good little horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oz, what about you, man? What was your initial impression for what you've read?
I'll be honest. I was at work. I'm thinking, okay, I got about 20 minutes. I can get a couple issues in, and I'll give my review. And then I found myself taking every opportunity I have to like keep reading, and I read through all 8.
Oh wow, that's a big testament, because you don't do that for a lot of books.
And look, there's pages that are that wall of text that I always talk about. I tend to skim through a lot of that. I read every single damn word in these books. Like there's a lot of words, but God, I read all of them. So that should say the quality of this book.
Yeah. Yeah, like it goes
yeah,
back to
just like Mo said, like the first issue, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna follow this kid through this adventure, and then he's done. Like, oh,
yeah,
okay, well, I guess it's not him.
right.
And actually,
Yes, it's not him.
yeah,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's just, and I keep waiting. I kept waiting for like the main demon or whatever to make his presence known, and it's one of those things where it's like, no, it's something that happens. Like I guess traditional horror story where we're not at the point. Well, I guess by issue 8, maybe you kind of see more of that demon. But up until then, it's like just a background thing. And the way everybody talks about the incidents that happen in each issue, like you're not even sure if it's really like if the dude actually made a deal. If not for the
Yeah,
flashbacks, like everything is
yeah,
explained away. Even
yeah,
when they explain the kid's death, like the
yeah.
Walt Disney of the book is like there's video footage of him hanging himself, and I just didn't want to show
Right,
you because like that's fucked up.
right. No, I agree with you 100% because, like you said, like they show you, and Joe mentioned they show you a flashback of him killing his wife, and there's a point in the book where I was kind of like, he said something, and I was like, man, this fool almost feel like he didn't kill his wife. Like and I'm like, but I read that right, and I'm sitting here like trying to figure out if I'm like am I like looking at some like unreliable narrator kind of stuff, like that happened, right? Like questioning what I've already seen. And so I was like, man, that's wild because that's literally just the character being charismatic enough for me to question what I know. So it's like, okay, that's wild. That's really wild. Uh yeah. So Jay, man, um, where do you think this book is going? Because like touching a little bit on what Oz said, it's like it does kind of make you feel like, okay, yeah, there is definitely some weird occult stuff happening, but then and they show you some stuff, but then they show you some other stuff, and it kind of makes you feel like, well, maybe it is just the people like kind of being in their own heads a little bit, but then they show you some other stuff, and you're like, okay, no. But at the same time, I don't feel like we've like in 8 issues we haven't gotten to like what we're like, oh, like I don't know, and maybe maybe you all know, and I just was a little bit too out of sorts to like see this, but I don't like we don't really have like a definitive like dark force that's like pulling the strings behind everything yet. We know that there's something happening, but it's like where do you see this book going?
I'm not sure. There's a couple of directions it could take. Right now we have basically 4 characters. We have the Walt Disney, the daughter, the son, and the investigator. The father and the daughter both know of the demonic shit happening, and they're into it. The son isn't into it, or is just starting to find out about it, basically. And the investigator wasn't sure what was going on, and now she's seeing the demonic stuff. So it's gonna come down to probably gonna be a sister versus brother type thing, I think, where you just have them like clashing over what to do, and the entity is going to show up at some point. The dying wife made that abundantly clear.
Yeah.
That it is coming for its blood, or the daughters, whatever he can get.
Yeah.
And yeah, like It kind of depends. Like there are really only 3 endings in horror.
Okay, what are the 3 horror endings?
The good guys win, the bad guys win, and
or everyone loses.
yeah, that's one also.
Lawrence closes his eyes.
That's the beginning. That's how they start for Larry.
Oh no.
But you also have like when the good guy becomes the bad guy, like the good guy converting at the end. And so you might see that happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's so they could take it in either of those directions. Like I'm kind of just along for the dark ride.
Assuming Sam Hain is the good guy, I don't picture him turning.
I mean, I can see that based on the stakes for him.
You know, right now he seems pretty steadfast, but his ex is, I don't know, hurt, maybe dying, and his daughter is being wrangled by demons.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, like if they're like, well, you know, you can become the head of this, or we can just kill your daughter. I think he's definitely gonna go like become the head, and if his daughter is at stake, like he's gonna do it, and he'll throw himself into it. Like once he seems like the person that once he is on a track, he goes full steam.
And
so all you need is just to get him a reason to, you know, be the bad guy.
They do keep bringing back the fact that his mom kept talking about, you don't know what you would sacrifice for your children. So that's a definite possibility at that point.
And also he does, like, even though he's like a skeptic about all these things, he cares about the legacy of the park, like the business too, you know? So it's like he wants that to succeed and he wants to carry his father's legacy. And I think if anything, we're gonna have the unlikely hero with the dad. Like the dad's still there. He's gonna fight the you know, the devil's gonna come for what he's due, and he's gonna have to tell him no. And again, that's why I've been trying to get my grandpa on the Ouija board. But yeah, from what I've heard, how my grandpa handled it, that's I think he would handle it, or it would make a good story, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Walt Disney is difficult to get a read on because like they build him up as this like evil, like just heartless individual, and then you actually see like, no, he actually did love like this woman, and like that was part of the, like he didn't want to go through with it. It's
yeah,
like it was a real sacrifice for him. What happened to his second wife, because his first wife,
right? Exactly, and that's the whole point, right? Where it's like it's a hard sell to redeem this dude, though, right? Because if he murdered his wife and put her in a hole in the desert.
And again, like that one, that's what makes the story interesting. If he becomes the hero, he redeems himself. He could come back from all of that.
And it's not even redeeming him. It's like the second wife is the one that's like, I am volunteering to do this sacrifice for our children. So it's not really redeeming him, but the fact that he actually like he didn't want to go through with it because he didn't expect to catch feelings for this woman, and he did. Like just kind of I don't know. It's a weird thing, man. It's one of those things. It's why it kept me like wanting to find out more.
It separates this book from any other book, or you know, or this experience. It makes it unique, and it's like if you know. to answer Burr. Like making it into a movie would probably water these things down that you get in the comic. Like you'll get the execution of it probably, but this little like they spend 3 pages talking about this. Like the movie might not have time. Like they might cut it. It might be a deleted scenes on the DVD. You know.
Mm-hmm. And it was interesting too because uh despite the theme park being horror themed, they still kind of went with a lot of the theme park kind of tropes. And like I especially thought it was interesting to see like the YouTuber dude, like, and especially like having
Yeah.
like I have friends that are like really into Disney. And so I know that they watch like people that do that kind of stuff for like Disney theme parks and like go like literally like go to Disneyland every day to go film videos about whatever the new thing that's happening or just to kind of talk about history of the park and that kind of stuff. And like, and I'm just like, wow, like that's kind of wild that they kind of took that aspect of like real life, but then they just did it for a horror theme park.
Emily and I do that for like Halloween Horror Nights or things like that. Like every year, we start watching what we can expect, or stuff like that. And then I know she does it for like what's on sale at Home Goods this Halloween season. So she follows these bloggers that go to like Kmart to see what's there.
Yeah.
Decor,
It kind of got on my nerves when that guy was like, "Yeah, like and subscribe and do all that," but go ahead and like and subscribe to our show because
hit the bell too. Yeah,
there it is. If you want more videos like this,
the more that you like these videos, the more that we know you want more of this content. So go ahead and subscribe.
No, man. So I was just like, man, that's crazy because I'm like, that's how it happens, and I'm sure like I could. It's wild just because at the beginning of the book, which like the argument that he and the first wife have, like I'm reading this and I'm just like he loses his job, like Jay mentioned, and she was like, hey, I didn't. She's literally said something like,
I should have
like
married so and so.
Yeah, and she's
like he's going places.
Right. And like nobody wants to go to a theme park to be scared. They want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? And it's like something like, she's like, wait, well, like you're like a teenage boy, And I was just like, listen, I agree with everything she's saying. Like, just like, I don't want none of that.
At that point, I wanted to hit her in the head with a snow globe.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there it is. Murder was the case.
Like Larry couldn't be my husband.
I agree. So, but I was just like,
it's like I only go to theme parks on Halloween time.
Well, there it is. Yeah, man. I'm just like, nope. But yeah, like it's a really interesting book because it feels like you have some compelling characters, you have interesting things that are happening, and then it also feels like there's a whole layer of lore under all of that, and you're getting spoon-fed that. I'm sorry, not spoon-fed. You're getting that's the right word. You're getting like that trickle to you little by little. At least that's how it feels to me. Where it's like, this definitely feels like there's a whole story underlying the story that we're being told right now, and we're getting there. But I don't know how long it's going to take.
Like, by issue 3, I was just excited about the story that I'm reading as the black and white pages.
Yeah. So, Jay, how do you feel about the art in this book?
I like it. The mascot, Danny.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like he ranges from like really cute to like really murder.
Yeah.
like I like how they do that.
Yeah, it's the
Danny
same.
Devil.
It's like the same design, but sometimes it just looks more ominous for
Yeah.
some reason.
Right.
I think they kind of it fluxes between like cartoony mascot to like real life devil,
Right.
or maybe not real life, but you know.
And yeah, like the art I think is really good. And there are a couple of times where it's just like cool. Like when the guy is being led to his death and it's just the open door with the red eyes.
Yeah.
Like that's like pretty cool. And yeah, they're like a bunch of cool scenes where the art is like, yeah, that's like just good. I think.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Oz? How'd you feel about it?
It was fine, pretty consistent throughout all the books, and just it's just it's weird. Like I like that the main villain or whatever I guess is this demon character that we know very little about, but then they'll do an issue that it's like the garbage dude issue.
Right.
Like did not expect that at all, and it's a whole book where you like you're surrounded by people. The characters are surrounded by garbage. It's done very well. Like
Right.
it's just it's weird to it's a room full of garbage, but it looks good. Is I guess the best I can say. I don't even know how to describe it.
It looks like
Right.
a whole like imagine like watching The Hobbit, Peter Jackson's Hobbit, and when you go into Smog's cave with all the gold, it's like that, but with garbage. Like that's how massive the shit looks. Like it's the entire under belly of the park, and this guy
Right.
has made it his kingdom.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's weird. It's unnecessary, but I love it. And like out of all that, the comic to have good art, like that was, I'm thankful for that. But they do things in this comic with art where it's like you're reading like the creep factor of it. The art style itself isn't like a horror comic art. It's more superhero style art in the way that is polished and stuff for me, or or an action comic. But they do things where like she's looking in the reflection and she sees her dead brother, or there's a ghost of somebody else that died in the park that they covered up before, like kind of letting you know that this kind of thing has happened, and it's just like a dude like that appears in one panel and disappears in the other panel, but it's them having the same conversation, and he's in the background. They don't notice him, the reader notices him, and I noticed a lot of that happening. And then even like a statue, like at night when they do the night, it's like, oh man, it's creepier at night, and it's like the statue as like the dude walks by, it's like facing one way, and then after he walked past it, it's facing another,
Yeah.
And so they do a lot of that, and I fucking love that. That's one of my favorite things about The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, where it's like there's all these ghosts in the house. The story's about one ghost, but like they're reaching in the cupboard for something, and there's just like a head next to the crackers, that you don't see. Like it's shot in a way that you can't see. It's just the camera lingers a little long, and then you're like, oh, yeah, and it scares the fuck out of you. But it's like it's not a jump scare. It's just adding to the creepiness of the thing, and that's this comic actually does that in comic form, which I was really impressed by. And then the art itself is just it's all good. Like this is one of the superior art books I've read in a while, where there's like no complaints from me in any of it. Like it all flowed right and it was all done well.
Yeah. 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 There you go. I mean, yeah, that's the reality of it. So, yeah. Are y'all ready to rate? It feels like it's about that time.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1.
Moses Magnum. What would you rate?
It's a 5. This is it's one of the perfect comic books almost so far. Up until issue 8, it's one of the perfect comic books. Like it's a 5 out of 5 easily. Like I don't need to know where it ends. Up until this point, I really enough to know it's a 5 out of 5.
I was waiting for you to say, in fact, I'm going to stop reading it right now. Like,
I might, yeah. I mean, that's part of what happens. I mean, if they wanted me to read all of it, they would have given me all of it all at once.
Hilarious. Oscar, what would you rate Dark Ride?
I'm gonna go with 5. Same thing. Like it got me to read stuff that I normally would just skip over. And I'm actually upset that you guys didn't wait till it was done so I can just get to the end, because I'm not 100% sure I'm going to remember when the next issue comes out to go out and read it.
Yeah,
I think it's ongoing too. Like I don't think it's set.
It is ongoing.
Yeah, so
yeah, it is ongoing.
It could be like The Walking Dead, where it just ends abruptly at like issue 112.
Well, then I'm gonna drop a point because I need to know how it ends.
Jay, what would you rate Dark Ride?
I would give it a 5 out of 5. Like, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad the preview was in the other comic we read. I think it was Twig.
It might have been Twig, or it might have been I Hate This Place. Like issue 1, maybe. But but I feel I do feel it was something like Twig, where it was like contrasting to what we were actually reviewing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that's been like since it started. I've just been issue after issue, loving it the entire time.
Yeah. So yeah, as for myself, yeah, 5 is the right answer. So it's like, I mean, honestly, it's just a well written book. It tells its story very expertly, whether you're talking about art or you're talking about characterization, dialogue, like whatever you're looking for. Like, you don't need to be a horror fan to like it, because Lord knows I'm not. So and in some degrees it plays to that. So I'm just like, no, man, it's just a good book. So if you're not messing with Dark Ride, you should think about it, because it's a good book. And and trust me, it's like coming off of friggin' what's the DC event?
Night Terrors.
Night Terrors, thank you. I felt bad for not being a fan of Joshua Williamson's work, just because I know how much I have enjoyed him in the past. And look, this right here messed around and was like, okay, good. This is what I'm used to from this guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised you didn't like that, but because that is like, I don't know.
Okay,
that's
so I guess the next question is.
Wait, no, not yet. We have a guest review of our review.
Oh.
We asked Joshua Williamson what he thought of our review.
No, man. These guys are cool. Fantastic Forum is good. I like them. I'm Josh Williamson, and I approve this message.
There it is.
He's such a lying son of a...
But what were you going to say, Oz?
I guess the question is, since you're obviously such a Josh Williamson fan now, in the previews for, at least in the last issue, Transformer Energon Universe by Joshua Williamson, are we gonna have to read that?
Oh, I mean, I already have it in my pile.
Oh,
so
it's
it's
not
like,
by Joshua. It's not by Joshua. Sorry, somebody else.
It's not. It's a preview for the book, but yeah, the book, that joint came out last week, so I'm behind because I fell behind in all my books. I still got X-Men to read, but that's in there as well, like with Transformers 1. So it's gonna be good.
What about Chroma? That was previewed in some of the books too.
We read that. Like
we did read
on the show.
Oh, but Oz not there. Oz might not have been there, right?
I don't remember
He
it.
just didn't read it.
It's on down.
Oh, that might be true. Yeah, Chroma was great.
I don't listen to this show.
you and Joe.
And Josh Williamson. Otherwise, he wouldn't approve the message.
All right, Jay, give me some final thoughts, buddy.
Really looking forward to seeing Baby Metal tomorrow.
Woo! Oscore, final thoughts.
Is Baby Metal the same three girls, or is it like Menudo where they switch about every few years?
They haven't switched them out. There's only 2 of them now, I think.
Well, that's sad.
Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
I am excited to be to see Death Clock. So I might have by this time tomorrow. I might even have a Death Clock tattoo. I'm not. So I'll be gonna have them bless my skin. They'll bless it with their mark, and I'll become a part of the clock. I'll become a generator. And I hope they play that song. It's my favorite song.
For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. Until then, please like, subscribe, friggin' leave a comment. Let us know what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. And we just really, really do appreciate all the support you've given us thus far. So with that said, we're the Fantastic Forum. Have a good night.